Hello everyone and welcome to the Layman's Perspective by Amenemope. Today we are going to talk about Murang'a Senator IRUNGU KANG'ATA. He wants some amendments be made to the Children's Act in a move to have deadbeat fathers compelled to support their children. In one of the proposals is that Immigration Department should bar deadbeat fathers from leaving the country for business. If this deadbeat father is leaving for business, then he should be barred. But if he is leaving for leisure, then it means there's no barrier to him. He can move freely. The layman thinks that business is very important to the child, so the deadbeat father should be allowed to move for business and compelled by KRA to submit child support to the necessary area. Number 2, if the deadbeat father are businessmen, then the senator proposes the county government be allowed to suspend their business licenses. If you want the deadbeat father to be responsible father and cater for the children, then why should we suspend his business? It to a layman's perspective is that the children will continue to suffer, because if the father cannot do business, then there is nowhere the mother can compel the father to be responsible. Then that will make the mother even suffer more, because in the case where a mother is asking for child support, is an area where a mother is unable to support the children on her own, and thus she wants the father to be part of the family and contribute towards the welfare of the kids. So if you continue to suppress the father, then the mother will also suffer more, because her hope are in the well-being of the father to provide for the children. So the government should come up with a law that cajoles or forces the deadbeat fathers to contribute towards their children's welfare. Number 3, the deadbeat dads will only be allowed to resume their business operations once the child support has been cleared. You close someone's business, you bar them from going out of the country, then again you come and say that they must pay for child support in full before they can resume their business. Their source of income is dependent on that business. If you close the business, where do you expect that deadbeat father to get money to support the child? That is subjecting the child to more suffering, in fact permanent suffering, because the father will not have any source of income. There is a law that protects children in such a way that a parent must be able to contribute towards the child's welfare. So if you handicap one parent, then the other parent will suffer 100%. Number 4, the senator also wants the deadbeat fathers barred from getting certificate of good conduct, which is nowadays a requirement for most employers. Now, this deadbeat father has no job, and he's now looking for a job so that he can be in a position to cater for the child welfare, which is a requirement by the law. Then he comes to the government, which should be protecting the kid, and the government bars him from accessing a letter of good conduct, which is a requirement by an employer. So this means that if you are a deadbeat father and you change your mind, sense comes into your head, and now you want to support your children, since you've not been supporting them because of lack of income or any other reason, the government will not give you certificate of good conduct on the basis of you cannot support your children. Number 5, the proposed law further wants the deadbeat fathers listed with CRB until they pay child support. This person's business has been closed. He's been barred from traveling outside the country. He's been denied a letter of good conduct. Then he's been listed with CRB. How is this man going to recover from all that burden? Even if now he's willing to start contributing towards the child's welfare, the man has been finished completely, and there's no way that man can ever raise up again and take his full responsibility, because I believe for one to put stringent laws in place is they are meant to make sure that a deadbeat father wakes up to the occasion and takes his responsibilities as a parent and as a dad. Number 6. Section 23 of the Children's Act provides for parental responsibility, and it defines parental responsibility to mean all the duties, rights, powers, responsibilities, and authority which by law a parent of a child has in relation to the child and the child's property. On duties, it includes the duty to maintain the child, and particular to provide him with an adequate diet, shelter, clothing, medical care, and education and guidance. There is also a duty to protect the child from neglect, discrimination, and abuse. If this act is meant to protect a child from discrimination and abuse, and to make sure that the child is provided with shelter, clothing, and medical care, then a question rings in the layman's head. What about those mothers who have children and they dump children up country with their parents? Now that they are in the city, but it's the grandmother and the grandfather who are taking care of their children. What about these women whom, even though the father wants to be part of the family, but wants to be part of the life of that child, but the father is barred from accessing the child or seeing the child, even though he is willing to contribute? Is there any law that compels those women to take care of the children? And also, if the child stays with their grandfather as grandparents, and both parents are living separate ways, living their life, can it be termed as child neglect? That is a question we should ask ourselves, because this is the layman's perspective. I am Amenemo Pay.